Hi guys, my name is Joe and welcome to Fighting Words, the martial arts library. On this channel I review martial arts books and talk about other martial arts related subjects. This is a segment that I call Media Fight Mondays. So on the first and third Monday of every month, I take a fight from television, movies, animation, and so on, and I break down the action and then give it a grade based on realism and storytelling value. So this week we're looking at a fight from the movie Circle of Iron from 1978. The characters are Cord, played by Jeff Cooper, and Morthond, played by Anthony Longis. This is at the beginning of the movie. They are at the end of a tournament. They are fighting for the right to see who's going to go on this quest to find and defeat this great fighter and also take his book and learn all the secrets of the universe that are in the book. When I was looking up the choreographers for this, two names showed up. One was Cam Yuen. He'd been a technical advisor and had had some small parts in the Kung Fu TV series. Also, Joe Louis was listed, not the boxer. There was a kickboxer and professional karate fighter around this time, but close name, the last name spelled a little different. Joe Louis had actually worked with Bruce Lee, who has a writing and story credit on this movie. And maybe one day I'll get further into, I don't know about reviewing the movie, but maybe talking a little bit more about it. But you can see Bruce Lee's fingerprints on some of the philosophical ideas that show up in this film. I gotta warn you guys in advance, I don't think Jeff Cooper had much of a martial arts background, except possibly for this movie. As far as Anthony Longis goes, I think his primary background is in Kenpo, at least at this stage in his career. He would go on to be known for his weapon work, especially his sword work, and notably his work on the bullwhip. That doesn't really show up in this fight, but I thought I'd give you guys a heads up on that. I'm going to let you guys know up front, I just watched this fight before sitting down to review it. I don't think it's a great one. I don't like the editing, but let's go. You see a little bit of stance switching, some kicks, jumping kicks, standing armbar that led to a kick. Already we're noticing basically some repetitive editing. The Jeff Cooper, the character of Cord, does that side kick to spin kick a lot. We're not really seeing a whole lot of impact in any of these. We're getting some weird close-ups. You know, the only real significant thing that we've seen is Morthond, played by Longis, going for that standing arm lock and getting kicked in the gut as a result. Side kick. That was weird. So they had an exchange of kicks. Morthond seemed to roll either with or away from the impact of one of Cord's kicks. And then we got a side kick followed up by maybe some sort of jumping kick, but Longis, aka Morthond, falls to the ground as he's executing his kick. And that's a bit weird. Side kicks, punch to the face, that one's good. Exchange of punches, jabs, throws a kick, is tossed to the ground, it's punched, and gets clobbered, and they throw down Cord's symbolic scoring, the flags. He was the yellow guy, Morthond was the reds. They'd hold up a red flag if Morthond scored. So he gets disqualified for hitting a guy on the ground. And this sort of becomes a point with the Bruce Lee influenced fighting philosophy as it goes on, the idea of rules versus having no rules. You know, there's some verbal exchanges after this, and, you know, Cord is going like, you gave it to the wrong guy. I beat him. No, you hit him on the ground. And the guy who's running the tournament sort of spouts off like, you know, you need to be able to contain an elephant in a spider's web. not kick him really hard. And Cord sort of rolls his eyes at that, and I think that that was, again, under Bruce Lee's influence, sort of, taking the piss out of a lot of the traditional martial arts ideas that we get sometimes with these Zen koans and things like that. As far as realism goes, I, the editing was awful, and it made it hard to tell what was going on at any given time. They were throwing regular old punches and kicks. Again, we saw Delon just throw a spin kick, a jumping spin kick, no idea if it landed. You know, it's difficult to grade, again, because we just didn't see a whole lot. I guess I'm just going to have to default to a C where that's concerned. Because the few things we did see, it did seem kind of stylized. They were in like deep horse stances and things like that and waving their arms around. But if you look at the karate matches from the 60s and 70s, things that clearly influenced this sort of choreography here. I mean, one of the choreographers was a guy who participated in that kind of match. And that was sort of the pattern that we were seeing anyway. So, again, middle of the road C, mostly because it was difficult to see anything else, so it's more of a default than anything. As far as storytelling goes, again, because the editing was awful, it was very difficult for us to have moments in the fight. By my count, we basically got 3 of them. We got that armbar that was countered by a kick. We got Cord being hit with a clean punch, sort of wiping away his cheek. And then we got the finish. Cord throws him down and punches him in the face and gets disqualified. That's not a whole lot. There was no real build to what was going on. We didn't get a good idea for the different fighting approaches of the different fighters. It's not an F, because the finishing sequence tells us what's going on. It sets the tone. Cord is not someone who plays by your rules. But, oof, D-. I was not happy with that. Here's the thing. I like the idea of the movie as a whole, and again, there's a lot of good philosophical things that have been input into there. But as far as this fight goes, it's not a pleasant fight to watch compared to a lot of the other really good ones that we've gotten over the years. Anyway, that's all I have for this week, and talk to you guys later.